Hi, my name is Mensah Hugh Samuel. I'm the lead software developer for Gnacops. Now, Gnacops is Ghana National Council of Private Schools. Now, in this video, what we will be discussing is how you are going to register as a school. Okay, how are you going to fill in your school information, how are you going to approve or reject your students, and then selecting the topics that ought to be treated. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is actually an online platform which allows your students, as a school, your students to write their end of term exams. All right, and in the future we will be launching a full online course for your students. Okay, so this is the introduction, right? And then also this particular video category is going to be for those who are on the mobile phones, right? Afterwards we are going to do the same one, but this time one is going to be for those who are on desktop devices, right? But they are just the same, just that we wanted to focus on the mobile phone because a lot of people are on mobile devices. So in this video, what we'll be talking about is the first stage, which is registering your institution, right? So you just have to first sign up, right? Then afterwards you fill in a little bit of detail, right? So what you have to do is just click on this main menu. Now I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to click on sign up. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is just fill out my detail. So that is what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is just put in a name, right? So I'm going to say this is Francis, right? And then this is going to be this. Now on the mobile phone, if you are in the country, right, you just have to start with 0 and then whatever that it actually follows. If you are out of the country, you're using a different number, just put in your country code without the plus. Okay, let me repeat, you don't have to use this, right? You just have to maybe start with your country code, right? So in this case we are in the country, so we are going to just use a fictitious number, right? And I'm just going to say 1222. Okay, so this is the number that we are going to be using. Now this is actually a template, it's not a number, it's not a number that I know it actually exists. So then the next one is we are going to put in your username. Now your username will have to be unique, right? Okay, so I'm just going to pause the video. Okay, so you have your username put in here, it has to be unique, like I said, and then your okay, so here we have this information filled out. Now we're going to hit on apply as. Now for the Gnacops member and Gnacops volunteer, that has nothing to do with the examination and then the online school. So if you're a school and you're applying, just click on this, and then now you're going to hit register. So once you hit register, it's going to take us to, okay, so I am now logged in. So the first thing that I need to do right after logging in is to fill out your school information. So I'm going to hit on this open form, or I'm going to click on this and then go to school information, right? So the same thing, whichever way that you prefer, you can use it. So I'm going to fill in my name of my institution and then this information. Okay, so in order not to waste too much time, I'll pause the video and then put in that information, right? Okay, so we had to pause and then fill out this information. So we have this information here. Now this is one thing that I would like to talk about, the agent ID. Now agent ID is should be filled when your school was introduced by someone who is a Gnacops agent, right? Not necessarily maybe your friend or something like that, but then somebody who is a Gnacops agent, right? So if a Gnacops marketing agent calls you, you kindly put the person's name here because the person has put in an effort to register your institution. Then your support line, these are people who are going to assist in the entire process, as in like your staff who are going to assist your students in writing their exam, right? Now the next question is Gnacops member. You're a Gnacops member. So if you are, just hit yes. If you are not, just leave it no. And then this is your school code. So this is what you should give to your students. Okay, so this is what you should. This is very, very important. Just give this one to your students so that they will use that one to sign up. Total number. This one is going to be automatically calculated once you fill out a little bit of information down here, right? And then here I'm going to pick either you have a headmaster or a headmistress. So if it's a headmaster, unfortunately I have to repeat that I'm actually in the house, so please bear with me with the background noise, right? then you're going to hit either headmaster or headmistress. So in this case, I'm going to hit headmaster, and then fill out the headmaster's name. Right. So okay, so here we have this, and then now you're going to browse for the headmaster's signature. Now this is very, very important. This signature is just signature that appears on your terminal report. It doesn't have to be an official signature. I have to stress again, it does not have to be. It shouldn't be an official. It's just supposed to be a demo, a dummy signature that you mostly use on your on the terminal report, but not one that you take to the bank. Okay, right. And then the school logo. So you click on select logo, and then I'm now going to do it. Now in here we have the class, so the class and then the total number, right, and then the support line for that class, so that we have maybe class 1, the class teacher's information. The telephone number can be kept here. It's supposed to be only telephone numbers, right, not the person's name, so that the child, if the child in class 1 is having an issue, he or she can call the support line and then instantly get help, right? So that is it. So you have to pause that one and then fill out just to save time. Okay, so in here we now have the class, here the number of students, and then the support ID. So that's what you're going to fill out for all of the the number of classes that you have, right? So once we have this ones done, we're now going to hit submit, right? Now leave blank the areas that you don't have, right? The classes that you don't support, just leave them blank, right? And then now the information is updated successfully. Now if you scroll down, you're going to see that your total number of students have automatically been updated. So we are done with that. So the next video, right, we'll be discussing how I think that we've merged 2 videos in one, right? So the next video, what we'll be discussing is adding topics, and then afterwards we are now going to approve your students, right? So yeah, right, look. Okay, so in this video what we'll be talking about just 2 things, right? We'll be talking about how to add the subjects, and then we'll go to the next stage, which is how to approve or reject your students, right? Now just bear in mind one thing, I am in the house, so if you hear any background noise, please forgive me, right? So now I have to click on topics, right? Now I'm going to pick up your topics. Now bear in mind that the same formula works when you are on a desktop, right? All right, so now I'm going to pick my topic that I've treated, right? So I'm now going to pick maybe say class 1. I'm going to pick my class, okay, and then I'm going to pick my subjects, right? So I'm just going to tick or untick the ones that I've treated, right? So you have to go through to see the ones that you've treated. So in this case, as you can see, we have literature, we have antonyms, and all, and then you're now going to hit submit. So once you're done, you're just going to hit submit. Okay, now the next thing is to go and approve or reject your students, right? So as you can see, your list of your students are going to be here. By default, the status are going to be okay. So your status is going to be set to appending. Now you can reject the student or approve the student. So in this case, we're going to just reject this particular student with a reason. Say you don't belong to this school, right? And then hit yes. Okay, and I'm going to do that and then hit yes. Now if you want to approve back the student, in this case we are going to approve the student back. We are now going to hit yes. So you can also delete the student if the student does not belong, or maybe well, for whatever reason, maybe there are duplicates and stuff like that, you can't delete it, right? But if you have any other information for rejecting that student, well, that is also there, and then an SMS is going to be sent to that particular student in regards to that. So now you're also done with this. So essentially that is all your work in a nutshell. You filled out the topics, and then you've also approved, rejected, or deleted the students, right? Now bear in mind your school code must be given to your students. Okay, if you want to see where your school code is, so you just click on this, you move on to your school information, and that is where you see your school code, right? So your school code is down here, right? This is what you are going to be given to your students. Your school code is here, right? Okay, this one is it. So we are done, and that is the end of this video. All right, bye bye.